word with the E. Today's daily word is test. T-E-S-T, test. And more specifically, God testing man, testing all of us, testing countries, testing this world. God tests all of us at different stages, at different times in our lives, including governments and people of power, countries. It's a lot of testing that goes on. For example, if you know that it was a country that, just say, had a tsunami or a major earthquake and a whole lot of people were, that they didn't have their home any longer, or a whole lot of people didn't have enough food and water. And this is a country, so this was maybe a smaller country, a worldwide event. And you got all of these countries around the world. Instead of running and going to help that particular country that might have suffered a loss, they sit there and ignore it and they go on about their business. That's a test that country failed. They were in a position to help another country in need and didn't. That's a test, failed test. And that particular country can be punished. You can have a country that's way up here economically, and that same country that was way up here economically can fall all the way to the bottom at the drop of a hat. You've seen it. You've looked at it in the history books. So I'm using countries as example, but I can take it all the way down to a smaller, mundane level, like just us as individuals. We're tested as well, helping those in need. Helping those in need. Looking out for your brothers and sisters. Doing things unconditionally. Not trying to overcharge people for services that you might provide. Unfair balances. Not judging people. Being thankful. Being cordial. Respecting others. Those are all tests. When you don't do certain things, you're tested. It might not be verbalized to you, but you know how you know that you're being tested? Because you get a funny feeling inside when you do or don't do something. Trust me, when a country was going, like the example I used earlier, where they had a country that suffered a major earthquake and their food was limited, the housing was destroyed. Puerto Rico, that happened too some years ago. Also, in Haiti, I believe it happened some years ago, and a lot of people died. A lot of things happened. Everybody, all the countries around the world, especially the ones, now notice I said especially the ones that could have invested more in their infrastructure and came to the forefront for those countries. That was a test for them. That was a test for them. They might not care, or might have turned and start working on something else and said this is more important than that. There's not anything more important than that. That's humanity. We got to have a bigger heart and do more for humanity. Do more for the underprivileged. Do more for the poor. Be more in unison as one. That all of those things are being tested, and you as an individual, or it can go to a corporation, or it can go to family, or it can go as high as countries, continents, you name it. There's levels to everything, but throughout those levels, there's tests that's being put out there for us to see what we'll do with it. And like I said, keeping it simple. We have tests all the time. Are you going to be, a good husband or a good wife or a good mother or a good father? Are you going to be good children? Those are tests. Are you going to do the right thing? Are you going to help your brother and sister in need? God cares about a lot of that stuff. because he put enough resources in this world that nobody should be suffering, nobody should be poor, nobody should be not helping one another. Nobody should be walking this earth with major issues that the brothers and sisters of this world can't help. And I'm just saying that's like very important to me. And I know it's something that God does. He tests us all the time. And like I said, you know when you're being tested because you get a feeling in the inside when you don't act. You'll feel a little funny, like, man, I should have did that. Or if you're watching TV and you see a country that's struggling, and all of a sudden they might say, hey, you know, they need water, go here and donate $5 or $1, whatever you can, because they definitely need water. There's a major earthquake, a lot of infrastructure damage, and you decide to do something else and not pay attention or put the onus on somebody else. You feel that, and it's an uncomfortable feeling. Or when you see one big country or a major country dominate a smaller country, or get into it or try to bully that particular country. That's a test. Why would you do that to them? Why not assist them? Why not help them? Why not look over them? That's a test. So we just got to recognize that, open our eyes, don't have tunnel vision about your life. You might hear me say that a million times. But I want you to expand your horizon on how you look at things, especially when it comes to your brother and sister. Love your brothers and sisters unconditionally with all your heart. Love God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, with all your strength. Love your brothers and sisters like Jesus loved them. Didn't he say those was the two most important commandments? But I'm saying if you really use these things, use love as the blueprint for decisions that you have to make in your life, whether it be with yourself or with others, it'll be a good decision more than likely because you're coming from a right place. And that's what we're trying to get to, the right place. Thank you. Talk to you soon. God bless.
You're not a little soldier. So show me. Tell us. God bless you. That God has his hand on your life.